The Physics of Sound and Music doc with a special review of decibels and how decibels work. And I'm going to do a challenging question here for you, which was brought to my attention by a former student, so I'll dedicate this to that student, Caroline. Now, Caroline's dad went to a two-year college, like community college, and became an expert in measuring sound levels. The sound level meter, now here you see a meter here, and this gentleman here in the video that we saw in class goes around making these measurements of sound levels. And when you look at Caroline's dad doing this, he knows these rules, and Caroline was talking to him about these rules, saying, "Hey, Dad, I learned in physics class, they're in a car driving, and then hey, I learned that if you have 10 times the amount of things, then you get 10 decibel increase in your sound level, and if you double, you get 3. And Dad's all happy talking to his daughter about this. Yeah, it's cool. And then Caroline says, I can do 6 times the amount of things. And the dad says, no, you can't do that. You just have these two rules. You have you do 10 times, you add 10. If you double, you add 3, and that's it. You have to check the charts, the tables. You got to do the tables to do these other ones." And Caroline says, "No, I think I can do the 6." And Dad says, "No, you can't do that." So Caroline gives up. Caroline is trying to explain to Dad this, and she gives up because Dad doesn't understand this. So Caroline is a little bit shook up, comes to see me, says, "Am I right in doing this?" I was trying to explain this to my dad in the car, that if I have one, then I'm going to make that, say, a certain decibel level, and we'll say that decibel level here, we'll go ahead and just draw a little like arrow like this and say that decibel level, say, is 40 dB. All right. So Caroline then says, well, if you have 2, I go over here and decibel level would be at 3, so it's 43 decibels. Says, yeah, my dad could get that far. He understood that. But then he gets lost when I keep going. See, I'm doing things. So now I'm going to do 2. I'm going to double that, you see. And if I double that, I come over here and get 46 dB. Add to that 43 more. And I said, Caroline, that's very, very good. That's very good. So where are you going with this, Caroline? I see Caroline says, I'm going with the 6. You're going for 6? I said, we can do 6. I said, no, Caroline says, I can do 6. You can do 6. All right. So Caroline says, here, go 8. And I go 8, and then I add 3 again. So that's 49. Add 3 more. I says, yeah, that's good, Caroline. And she says, I could go from 1 to 10, doing the big step, the mama step there, and then I would add 10, and I would have 50. And I said, yeah, it's very, very good. She says, now I can back down by dividing 10 by 2 and have 5, and then I subtract 3, and I have 47. Well, says Caroline, that's very, very good. And she says, then 6 has to be about 48. It's got to be in there. I says, Caroline, excellent, outstanding. That is exactly correct. It would have to be, you make an estimate. It'd be 48, say, decibels. And she said, but my dad got lost in this. He said, I can't do this. I said, no, your dad's wrong. I says, you understand the basic physics of decibels better than your dad, who's in the field. I says, this is amazing. I says, this is good. You understand the physics and can work out the math and estimate 6 decibels without the charts. Your dad couldn't do it. He said he had to wait until he goes home, right, and get the charts. Says, you go back and tell your dad he's wrong. And Caroline says, I can't do that. Well, see, sometimes in life, you got to give something up for the family. That's a shame, because Caroline understood physics at the deep level more than her dad, who was an expert in the field, but with his training, which was so focused in a technical sense, he couldn't see the depth that Caroline could see and that you could see in this course. And that's what we do in a liberal arts setting. We get to the fundamental issues, and I was very proud of Caroline that she could do the 6th, and her dad, the expert in the field, had to run to the charts to be able to figure out the 6th case.